It's about, working out to be the best version of yourself, and we know, if someone loses 20 kilos, they're probably going to add 20 years to their lives.
In the modern day, knowledge is so important because if you don't know something, then you'll be scared.
People feel guilty for putting themselves first. They'll learn it in their own time, but they do need to put themselves first.
Narelle,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
That's good. Narelle, Läka Energi. Wow, thank you so much for coming on, Narelle. You have such an amazing business. There's so many multifaceted areas of your business. I'm so excited to learn your story today and kind of hear a little bit of how you fell into this. What was the gap and how did you see the need to bring Läka Energi to Prospect Road?
So I live nearby, so I wanted to work locally, and I'd also always come to Prospect for the movies, cafes, restaurants, all that sort of thing. So I was pretty familiar, and I love the community. I love the buzz, the atmosphere, and I wanted to work there. And so I hit the pavement and was driving up and down and keeping my eyes open and checking out, social media and the vacancies for rooms for allied health. And this one came up. I was down at a cafe and I saw a room, a sign, and I saw it online. So I thought, I'm going to walk in and just suss it out. So I did. I walked in and there happened to be a receptionist on that particular day, and they gave me a card for the person who owned the building so I could get in contact with them. And at that stage, I was still looking around because I had my eyes on Ray White, the healing space down the road as well. But that got taken. So, that was my spot, and I applied for it and got it, and away we went.
Wow.
I love it.
That's awesome, Narelle. And tell me about your business. What's been your journey so far to create Läka Energi and bring this beautiful business to Prospect?
Yeah, so I've always been in healthcare. So I started out in the Army, my career in the Army as a 19-year-old, as a medical technician. So that's like a cross between, a nurse and a paramedic. So you could work in all different areas, and did that for 15 years and went overseas and deployed overseas to East Timor, and I did some instructing at the School of Health as well, teaching other medics, so beginners and advanced. And then I went into paramedic or emergency services on mine sites after that, and did that for 4 or 5 years. And then I was thinking about going back to uni, and I was going to go and study nursing, and I did my first year, and I just went, it's just more of the same of what I've been doing. It's like I wasn't feeling it. So I went, well, physio, that's something that, I'm interested in. I was always very sporty and playing all sorts of sport, having grown up in a small community, in a small country town. And so, I applied and got in. And I love it because I'm able to help people a little bit more. I'm sort of diagnosing and can provide prescriptive exercises and treatments and to really help them in their health and wellbeing journey.
Who gave you the idea at 19 to join the Army? What was that like? Tell me the day you decided to put yourself out there and do that. How did that happen for you?
Well, it was back in the early 90s. I think inflation was pretty high, like interest rates were up around, 16, 17% or something like that. So everyone else was going to uni to study, and I was ready to go out and start working, and just the Army and the police force appealed to me, so I applied for both. Yeah, and went and did interviews and all that sort of stuff, but the Army got back to me first, and I went, I'm doing it.
Wow.
And off I went. Mum drove me to Adelaide, and I caught the bus, and off we went to basic training at Kapuka. It was very scary, but it was good. I'm glad I did it. It was a good experience.
Yeah. Do you think that was in you growing up, being, adventurous or?
Yeah, I was always very adventurous and like playing sports. That's all I did really growing up as a kid.
Wow. How are you helping people grow, Narelle, with your business? And is it kids? Is it adults? Tell me about the people you're supporting.
So I guess my main clientele would be sort of middle age, from sort of 30 onwards, mainly 40 to sort of 60 sort of age bracket, men and women, probably more women at the moment than men. But I've seen that sort of change over the last few months. I'm starting to get entire families come and see me, which is really lovely that they sort of can, they look for their practitioner that they go to, that they trust, and that's really has been a lovely little change.
Wow. How do you think that's evolved for families coming in?
I think they like my style of my treatment and my practice, and they trust what I'm doing, and it's helping them. So.
And what are you doing, Narelle? Tell me the day of what's it like for you going into work, and what's the rundown? What's the day in the life at Läka Energi?
Into work, turning everything on, obviously checking all the equipment and creating the ambience. I like a non-sterile, relaxed, comforting sort of environment, which I think is important for people to be able to relax and share their story about what's going on for them at the moment. I have 45-minute appointments. I don't like short appointments because I feel like it rushes people in and out, and you don't get time for them to relax and tell their story and then get on time on the table and do some really good treatments, which can involve. So I do the traditional physiotherapy treatments. I do cold laser. So I've taken myself off and done some extra training in that to do cold laser therapy, which is a lovely modality. It's very non-invasive, pain-free. So that's why it appeals to a lot of the older generation, because it is pain-free. There's lots of positive benefits. There is literally no negative side effects for it, and it can really help lots of pain and inflammatory conditions. So I also do craniosacral, which is a really lovely, gentle modality as well, which involves light receptive touch on certain parts of the cranium and the sacrum, or the spinal cord as well, to bring about healing within, releasing emotions, releasing past traumas, those sorts of things, and bringing the nervous system down to a beautiful state where healing takes place. Because, modern life is very busy. Everyone's sort of, I feel like people are just running on that cortisol cycle. They're so stressed all of the time that their bodies don't get a chance to heal, or they don't get a chance to relax too much, and that can affect healing. Yeah.
And what are some warning signs, I guess, for someone listening, hearing about what you do? Is there any signs? Is there any prevention or things for someone in that busy hustle-bustle lifestyle? What do people look for when they know if they need help?
Well, everyone is a little bit different, but when I'm in that busy lifestyle, because I've been there, I look for quiet. For quiet, I just take care of the basics, like hydration, drinking good quality, clean, filtered water, good, clean foods, so avoiding processed, heavy foods, gentle exercise, some meditation, or just doesn't even have to be meditation, just some quiet time, some really nice exercise that you really enjoy doing that really nurtures your soul. So for me, it's like yoga, body balance, but then I also, get out and walking in nature, those sorts of things.
And do you help young people, sport injuries? How do you deal with sport injuries on the day-to-day?
So on a day-to-day, just like any other client, they come in and I do a full assessment to see, what's been the cause of the injury, and treat it as best I can with all the tools that I have, and I have a lot. So,
you mentioned cold laser before. Mm-hmm. How good is it? Is it beneficial? And obviously, it's a tool that you've investigated, purchased for your business to use.
Yep.
Tell me about cold laser. How does it work? And for someone listening, how do they know it might be a solution to their problem?
So basically, laser, it is a light therapy. It is infrared and near infrared. So cold laser is a class 3B medical class laser, so it doesn't generate heat like a class 4 laser will. So it is, that's why, hence the name cold laser. It's not actually cold. It generates a minor, gentle, lovely warmth. And basically, the light penetrates the tissue. Okay, basically it doesn't matter what type of tissue it's reacting with, but it goes into the cells, in particular the mitochondria of the cell, to release more ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, which is our energy source. That's how we take in food into our cells. It converts ATP into our energy, so to keep us alive and functioning. And so what it does is just one of the things is it upregulates that. So we can heal better, we can regenerate tissue, it can reduce pain, it can block pain signals and things like that, depending on which setting that I have it on, because cold laser has a lot of different settings, or what's the word I'm looking for? Frequencies, light frequencies. So, and they've developed it so there's frequencies for each different types of tissue. So there's a frequency for spinal cord, there's a frequency for nerves, there's a frequency for muscle, tendons, ligaments. So you can even do there's a frequency for temporomandibular joints, So there's a lot. So I've treated a wide variety of conditions with it successfully.
And what kind of conditions have you treated with it?
So musculoskeletal injuries, so your tendinitises, strains, sprains, sciatica. It's amazing for back injuries and sciatica, so anything sort of inflammation, because sciatica is something where people have potentially a disc injury or some sort of soft tissue injury that produces inflammation, which can compress on nerves, which then sends that sharp pain radiating down people's legs and things like that. So it can treat that really nicely. Post-operative, I've got a lot of post-operative clients because they can't do too much movement initially, like knee replacements or hips or shoulders. They can't do a lot of exercise initially because they need to let it heal and let the surgery, take place, modulate before we can start getting into. So cold laser is really lovely for that because you can use it over plastics, metal, things like that. It's safe to use over things like that. I've treated some tinnitus, so ringing in the ear, temporomandibular joint dysfunctions, and I also have a part of the cold laser is the light needle, which goes on the wrist, which treats the whole system, and that will help balance the body. It can help get the body into a parasympathetic, mode where the body heals at its best. But it also, again, treats the cells to help release more ATP, nitric oxide, things like that, which will bring their pain down, bring their nervous system down, give them the energy, their cells, to repair, regenerate tissue. So I've even treated neuropathies, where some people have pins and needles, things like that in their extremities. That's generally from nerve compression or some other disease that they may have, and it has eased their symptoms considerably and just, give them back a bit of quality of life, which is really nice.
Wow, that's incredible, Narelle. You do so many amazing things. It's pushing me in a direction to ask you, what have you learned from your learners? What are some things you've learned from the patients you've been treating?
Some of the things I have learned is just people feel guilty for putting themselves first. They put a lot of my clients, they're putting other people first.
Yeah.
Their family, their friends, their work, everything comes first. And I find, that's one of the main things I've learned. People need to, I guess they'll learn it in their own time, but they do need to put themselves first, because everyone in their life is probably better off if they are functioning at their optimum and, taking care of themselves as well.
And what are your tips for functioning at your optimum? You know, what are some things for people listening that they can do, simple things that will just a 1% here, 1% there?
Yep. So basically it's the real holistic picture of well-being, isn't it? So physical, looking after your physical well-being, which is, you know, a good, gentle physical exercise routine, good, clean nutrition, regular exercise, good sleep patterns, good sleep hygiene, those sorts of things. And then you look at mental and emotional well-being, which is building psychological resilience, positive emotions instead of getting bogged down in the negative, and ability to manage stress in your life, you know, and bounce back and be resilient. Social well-being, having a good social network, friends to unload on, not to unload on, but, you know, to we all need to unload sometimes, don't we?
You got to tell the truth.
Social support. So it's really nice to have friends to be able to, you know, share the good and the hard times and get that support. And spiritual well-being, which is, you know, your sense of purpose in the world, you know, your meaning in life, your purpose, your alignment with your personal values, and how you manage that. So that's, you know, making sure that people are in line with what they want to do in life and what they want to be. And also economic and financial well-being as well. Just making sure if you can, you know, if you have the basic resources to meet
it's a lot
life's
of
needs. It is big and it's got a lot of facets to it. But I think if you just, you know, do your best in each one of those areas, it's just about balancing. It's a balancing act.
Yeah, it's a big picture and there's many moving parts.
There is.
So it just goes to show that what you're doing is so crucial and important, and it's as simple as booking in, seeing you, and you taking people on a journey, and I guess to discover how they can fix something, because sometimes they might not know.
No. And sometimes it is going back to the basics and reminding them and, yeah.
You mentioned 3 pretty big ones: sleep, mental and emotional.
Yes.
How important is sleep, and how do people improve sleep, and how does that impact someone's emotional and mental well-being?
Massively impacts their emotional and mental health. Sleep is really one of the backbone of health. So a good 6 to 8 hours, probably 8 hours. It's just preparing yourself for sleep, you know, not getting on too much technology and ramping up the brain before sleep, getting into a bit of a preparing for sleep routine. So you might have a nice herbal tea or a sleepy time tea or chamomile tea or something like that. You might read a book. You might do some meditation before sleeping, making sure the room's not too hot. You tend to sleep better in a cooler sort of room so you don't overheat. Taking care of your hydration during the day is really important for a good sleep as well. Not having too much alcohol before bed. Alcohol is a stimulant and that will interrupt your sleep patterns. Having a nice comfortable bed, set up how you want it, you know, a nice relaxing space, not too cluttered, just really, and a bit of fresh air circulating in. If you crack the window open just a little bit to let fresh air in, that's really important, and a nice comfy pillow.
Wow. Amazing, Narelle. Kind of going towards the end of our conversation, if you had a magic wand and you can make anything happen, I guess, in the next 3 to 5 years, where's Läka Energi going? What's the vision, the mission, the purpose? You mentioned all of these amazing buzzwords. Where do you see yourself going in Prospect, and how do you see Prospect supporting that big picture?
So eventually I see Läka Energi probably expanding into an energy healing centre. Yeah, so I'm studying kinesiology at the moment, emotions metaphysical kinesiology. So I hope to have that completed to practitioner level by the end of next year. So I'll be able to offer that as well. But some of those modalities that deal with emotional and metaphysical aspects of people's lives, I find are really important as well, and important in their healing journey from physical injuries as well. So I see maybe a wellness centre.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is your favourite thing about your business? Everything you do, everything you're currently doing or plan to do, what do you love most about what you do?
I like the results when I actually help people. That's the most, I have the most pride in that, and it makes me feel really nice when people have come in, when they've been battling illness, disease, and I can help them in some capacity to make their lives a lot better.
Wow, seeing that for you must feel so amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Do you have a current story or a story of someone that you can think of that went from 0 to 100 or?
Yeah, okay. So I did have a client who came in who was really struggling in life, mentally, emotionally and physically, with chronic pain, and a lot of that was coming from the back, neck pain, lower back pain, and it was just basically crippling this person, and to the point where they couldn't work and they were at home a lot. Yeah, so I did some treatment. We went through her whole history and do a full examination, look into, everything, investigations that she's had, medications. We just do a full assessment of her whole medical history. So I've got a really good picture of what's going on. Also look into the stress in their lives as well. But basically I decide the best course of action to help them out. And a lot of that was involved around cold laser and also a lot of soft tissue massage, acupressure, that sort of stuff to bring the nervous system down so that she could actually function and start healing. And that was really nice to see that after a month, they were back at work and they were just amazed at the turnaround in their life. And they were really grateful, and it made me really happy.
Whoa. Amazing, Narelle. Is wrapping up, I guess, the podcast, is there anything you want to leave us with, or is there anything you'd like to say to the listeners?
Don't leave it too late. When your body starts sending you signals that something's not quite right, or the earlier you get to it, the quicker that it can be resolved and dealt with. Otherwise it just festers. The body will send you a little message, a little niggle here and there. And then, if you don't do nothing, generally it gets a little bit louder and it sends another signal. Do yourself a favour and seek treatment or seek help before it gets too out of hand.
And so, Narelle, for someone listening who needs to get into the door, into your office to chat with you, how do they get in touch with you? How do we connect you with people of Prospect and also the Greater Adelaide?
So on my website, they can go, and it just has a book now. They can book on the website. I have business cards with QR codes as well. They can just QR code the link and it will go to book now, and they can just peruse the appointments that are available and book in when it suits.
As simple as that.
Or phone me, on the mobile phone number, and that's displayed on the signs as well. So they can ring me or message me if I'm with a patient, and I will ring them and get back to them a bit later and get them booked in.
Wow. Narelle, Läka Energi, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you and learn more about what it is that you do, and for the people in Prospect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Tiensa, Timeless Dentistry. Welcome. How are you going?
I'm very well. I'm good. Everything is progressing. We're growing. We're seeing a little bit of growth, which is really exciting. And we've got lots of things planned in the future. So we've got very exciting things happening.
You have so many things going on. Tell me about Timeless Dentistry, Churchill Road. How did that happen?
There is a bit of a story. I was living away from home for a while, and working as a dentist, and I was having the time of my life, and it was very fun. And my mom called me and she was like, I want you to come home. And I was like, oh, but you know, the job market's so difficult right now. Like, it's really difficult to find a job, especially if you're, haven't been in the area for a long time and you don't know anybody or know any connections. So she was like, oh, then, and I have a personal thing where I work left-handed. So there's another problem on top of finding a job, is that the job needs to be able to facilitate my positioning and, being able to work as a left-handed dentist and have a facility that is set up for a left-handed dentist. And oftentimes I would find with jobs is that, oh, we have a chair that can, change from left to right and be ambidextrous, but the room is designed to be a right-handed room. So all the stuff is on the wrong side. And so, you don't work by yourself as a dentist, you work in like a team. So the nurses or the dental assistants that work with me are like, I'm not used to standing on this side. They have to relearn how to hold everything. And then they have to like squeeze past me to grab stuff from the cupboard that's not on their side. So it's a lot of it has to do with wanting to find a space that you can work for a long time, because I want to be able to work for a long time. I want to be able to have a long career. And if you have these problems or these constraints, then you're shaping yourself into something that is not ideal long term in terms of sustainability, right? So that was a big problem. And so my mum, like, kind of just on the side, just like, what if we build something? Like, what if we make this space that you want so that you can be sustainable for the rest of your life? And I was like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Came from mum.
Yeah, she's a visionary. Yeah, if she had a lot of hardships when she was going in her early career, and she's a fighter. She will get there.
Wow.
So,
and that's how the opportunity came up for Churchill Road. Yeah. And what's the business like?
it's so, like, first of all, I wanted it to be really beautiful, and I think it's really beautiful. And we put a lot of heart into the little like details. And so we hope that people pick up on those little details, and it will just last a long time and be timeless.
Timeless dentistry.
Exactly.
So the details, a unique point of difference. What separates you from a regular normal dentist? What are those details, and how do you feel that in prospect?
That's a good question. So I think our biggest strength is the team. Like, we have a very lovely team, and we have massive like warmth for just people coming in. And I, sought out my Dr. Michael and Peter out first, because I saw how they created a team and an environment of such like deep connection and warmth for their patients and for their staff. And I knew that that's what the kind of essence I wanted for my place. So we got them on board, and I want to be able to keep that for a really long time. And obviously having a nice building and nice stuff around you makes it really special as well.
It's beautiful. The teacups, all the little details, the piano. What inspired you to get into dentistry and have an education behind you and start your Timeless Dentistry business? What inspired you?
So getting into dentistry was a unexpected thing. I, finished my schooling. I knew I wanted to do something health related, and I had applied for like medicine and dentistry and all the optometry and all that stuff. And I only heard back from dentistry. So I think it chose me in a sense. And I had my artistic side, but like I didn't know how ingrained it was in the dental profession. Like it was really interesting when you got to the practical side after like the first year, you start doing more practical stuff. There's so much like details you need to like, it has to look a certain way and you have to like get it to shape a certain way. And that was really interesting to see the science and the art kind of meld together. And I think it does become really important when you want, people to have a certain look, or people want their teeth to look a certain way as well. You have to have a eye for detail, and I think that does come in handy with just a little bit of an artistic eye. Yeah.
Wow. How are you helping people grow, Tiensa? You mentioned your warm-hearted staff, the environment that you're creating at Timeless Dentistry being big and open and beautiful and calming. How are you helping them grow? And is this just kids, adults coming in? Is it everyone? How does that shape at Timeless Dentistry?
Well, we see everyone. We don't turn people away, because if people are coming to wanting to know something about themselves, like we want them to know, and we want them to feel empowered by their knowledge, so that they in themselves know, like, my teeth are at this point. I want them to get to another point. I want them to be like this, and we can help them on that journey to be able to achieve the smile that they want, right? It's almost like a handhold from like someone who like comes in and wants to, fix their teeth, or just wants to clean, or wants to know about, I want to remove some stains. And we talk about, how we got the stains and options. And okay, so if you want to, improve your stains or eliminate the stains, we can help you with that. And I think it's like a handhold. You can kind of hold these people to where they want to go, to the next step. And yeah, if they take our hands, then we'll join them.
How important is knowledge and the journey for someone listening, and maybe they're afraid of the dentist, or they just don't go, put it on the back burner? How important is that knowledge and journey, and how does Timeless Dentistry be that support?
I think in the modern day, knowledge is so important. So important, because if you don't have the knowledge, then you are you'll be fearful, be living in fear in a way, because if you don't know something, then you'll be scared. You'll be scared of like what can happen, what happens here, what are the options. Like, I don't want to be in pain, but like I don't want to know if I'm going to be in pain. That kind of stuff is really ingrained in us if we don't know things.
From your perspective as a dentist, what do people do? How do they become a bit more aware? And what are some tips to not feeling guilty after a whine, or maybe they don't floss much? What are some tips? What are the Tiensa tips for taking care of your teeth?
Okay, so with any kind of acidic drink, So it could be a juice, could be wine, even coffee sometimes. Stuff that can stain. The first thing you want to do is just drink some water. So a lot of the sticky stuff, like the acid deposits or in like sugars from juices, will hang around your teeth a lot longer. So if you can just, drink some water, rinse it out, that will do like a big change for you in terms of protecting your teeth. The oral environment in our mouths are generally quite balanced. Like they're not used to an acidic environment, and oftentimes the acidic environment kind of encourages a kind of bacteria that is quite harmful to our teeth. So we want to keep a neutral environment in our mouths as often as we can, and that's what our saliva is for, is trying to like combat the acid and the different changes in the environment to kind of keep it neutral so that the harmful bacteria that likes to fester and cause problems is kind of kept in a balance. And oftentimes with acidic exposures, you don't want to brush immediately. So a lot of people with morning sickness or acid reflux, they want to brush their teeth like as soon as like everything is gone. But you want to hold off for a good half an hour before trying to brush, because what happens after the acid exposure is everything is very acidic, and if you're brushing when the tooth is kind of weaker, you'll be weakening the outer layer a lot faster.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about all the times I've gone to brush straight away after an orange juice or anything acidic.
Mm-hmm. Even like Cokes and stuff as well. Yeah, sodas and stuff like that. You want the environment to kind of neutralize first for a good half an hour, and then brush your teeth. And you don't want to brush hard. You want to brush very gently. You don't want to scrub too hard.
Wow. Tips with Tiensa.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What have you learned from your learners, the people you work with, your dental assistants? You have an amazing team. What do you learn from them?
So much patience. Like they have a lot of patience for just being accepting of people, and I think that has definitely been brought out with like working with them over time, is that they're so accepting, they're so encouraging of people, especially kids. Like they are so good with the kids, and I like seeing kids as well. Like we have a lot of fun, but seeing how, because I don't have children, but they have children as well, and they're like, oh, like it's so amazing if you can, give them tips to how to prepare their kids for certain things. Like so much patience, and they have a lot of experience with seeing all kinds of people. So it's really fun to learn what they experienced in their years of experience compared to my years of experience being on the other side, and it's great. You can learn a lot from other people. Yeah.
And you mentioned before, education is so important. Knowledge is power when it comes to anything, and including going to see the dentist. What is something that stuck out for you in your career, and what's something you've learnt that you will carry forward with your role in your business, and something you think other people can value as well?
As a dentist?
As a dentist.
Okay. Something that I am now applying a lot more is when I meet someone, I meet a patient, I want them to know the complete state of their teeth. They might not want to know it, right? But I'm going to tell them, okay, at the moment, everything looks really good, but I'm going to give you an insight on what it will look like in the future. Because oftentimes people are not thinking about how their teeth will be in like 10, 20 years. And it's important to know, because if you share with them early, like, you know, if you're a grinder, you might be okay at the moment, but at some point you might not have enough tooth structure left. What do we do then? Like, what will your decision be at that point? And I need you to think about what your decision might be or what you want to do at that point now, because that will help us try and either prevent that problem from occurring, or at least then you know and you can kind of accept, so you're not surprised when it comes to that point. I'm going to be like, a lot of the older patients that come in, they have like old fillings or old crowns and the old habits that they've picked up over the years. And I'm going to tell them, it's like, we haven't had any problems, I'm not in any pain. And I'm like, okay, but you're going to break this tooth eventually. It's going to happen. I can't tell you when, but if it's going to break, these are your options. You either can do this or you can do that. And I don't want you to be surprised. And it's happened a couple times where like a month later, it's like, oh, it broke. Let's do the thing. Let's fix it. Like you totally predicted it. And then they're not surprised. I'm like, I just saw you a month ago and you said everything was good and there was no problems, and now this one's broken and you didn't tell me. That's such an important thing to learn and to pick up, because then they will trust you if you can predict something.
For sure.
Yeah, they will trust you. And that kind of just deepens your connection to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be more accepting on, you know, things that you suggest, because
So, Timeless Dentistry, 3 to 5 years from now, what's on the cards, Tiensa? Do you have collaborations in mind? You mentioned previously you finished up talking at a school, all of these sorts of things. What's on the cards for Timeless Dentistry?
So, yes, we are hoping to grow. At the moment, we're running 2 chairs. So we have a chair, my left-handed room for me, and a right-handed room for Dr. Michael. And we have 2 rooms that are waiting to be used. So we hope to be able to fill out those 2 rooms in the next, few years, and have lots of people come through and experience the magic. We have a lot of fun. We hope to do a lot more of the school talks. So we're trying to get into the schools and be able to educate the young children on the importance of their teeth and why it's important to brush, and try to get them to understand why we tell them to brush 2 times a day and for 2 minutes, and be careful of what you eat. Like, they, especially at a young age, they just don't know. And they want to know. They have questions. It's so amazing. They have so many questions. And we like, sometimes parents can't answer them because they also don't know. So we hope to encourage the younger generation a little bit, because I think it starts that early. Like, oh, my mum used to tell me to brush my teeth all the time, and I didn't really listen to her, and now I have these teeth and all sorts of things. So that education aspect starts from very early. Yeah.
And if you could make anything possible for Timeless Dentistry being in Prospect, what do you want to see happen, or what do you want to make happen?
I don't know. I feel like if we are the same, if we're happy, if everyone is feeling valued, and it's still very motivated and very energetic in 5-10 years time, I think we will be all good to go. I think burnout is something that I haven't really experienced too much of, but I know it happens. And in a few years, you just hope that you're still motivated and inspired to work for longer. I think I'm definitely here for the long run, and I want it to be exciting the whole way through. So hopefully we're still excited and motivated and inspired to work for many, many years. I think that's the hope. I don't want to get bored.
I think a lot of people could resonate with that.
Yeah.
So, and lastly, for people listening, for those that need some help and guidance and they want to find you, get in touch and come through the doors, how do we send them to you?
You can find us at 204 Churchill Road on Prospect. We've got a really, really nice gate and a front entrance. We've got a sign that says Timeless Dentistry and it lights up in the dark. And you'll find us with 2 big windows at the front with a chandelier and our sign backlit from our front desk. We have parking at the front, parking in the rear, lots of parking for everyone, and nice street parking as well if you prefer to park on the street. And you can find us on our website or our Instagram. We're online everywhere. We're at Timeless Dentistry AU on Instagram and Timeless Dentistry on Facebook as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tiensa. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm looking forward to seeing you grow and grow this amazing vision for Timeless Dentistry.
Thank you, Tatum.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nola, Healthy Inspirations. How are you going?
I'm going fantastic, Tatum. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on, Nola. I'm so excited to hear your journey and to learn what makes Healthy Inspirations tick. It's just, you've been doing this for a while. Tell me about how you ended up starting Healthies and taking that on. What was the journey?
Yeah, I guess, it's a long journey. It starts with me personally. I had a corporate job, very busy, very unhealthy. I was looking after a lot of people. I put on a lot of weight. I knew it wasn't the thing for me. I was really lucky at that time to have some great mentors in my life as well. And I used to have one lovely friend, Penny, who used to drag me up Mount Lofty every week for a bit of a health kick. But I thought, that's probably the worst thing to do to somebody when they're carrying an extra 20 kilos. Like, some people find that really demotivating, but I loved it. But it just made me feel like there's something else out there for me and something else out there for other women to help them. And I was just so lucky that someone had said to me, Nola, why don't you have a look at Healthy Inspirations? There was a centre up at Blackwood. I really think it's the thing for you. And I went up there and I thought, oh, yeah, this is it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just walked in and had such a great energy, and I knew this is something that I could do and I could really help other people, I guess while I helped myself. But, it was a great experience. That's a very short sort of version of it. And I did actually originally start, I really wanted to be in the city of Prospect, but sadly there was no locations available for us at the time. And we set up a business at Fruval, Glen Osmond. So I've been now a Healthies girl for over 18 years.
Wow.
And a couple of years into that journey, a location came up. I had my first child then as well. I remember I was feeding him in a cafe. I think it was Black Friday, not Black Friday now that you get all the sales. It was like Black Friday, this is the worst day in the world. And we signed a deal to set up another business. We're like, what's the worst that can happen? We could lose our house, we could, whatever. But we're like, let's run with it. Prospect was the right place for us with the right people. And, set it up and haven't looked back. We celebrated our 16th birthday last month, and we also hit 17,000 kilos lost as well. So I know a lot of people who are local see our A-frames outside. That is a real number. We track it every day with the losses and the gains. We've got a fabulous bell that we ring. We know weight loss is not fun and it is not sexy at all, but we just make it so much fun to be in there and, make sure everyone's sort of part of something bigger than themselves. So, yeah.
Wow, yeah, Josh mentioned that when you came in, the kilo sign. Yeah. What gap or need did you see in Prospect when starting your business? Because you said initially you were looking at starting Healthies here. Yeah. How did you know where to fit and make it fun? And What's that journey been like for you? You mentioned community support.
Yeah, that's right.
What's that been like?
Yeah, well, I guess, I mean, Prospect's a real community in itself already. You can tell that when you arrive somewhere like here. And initially I was living in the city, and when I arrived and started the business, the members were like, we want you here in Prospect. One of my members found me a house here. Do you know what I mean? Like, we just knew it was just the right demographic of women, young families. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, that was a business decision. But, you know, from there, I mean, it took a long time to build trust, like anything really, making sure we're being involved in the community and becoming a local really. So, you know, I think now my son's about to turn 17 and we moved here when he was 2. So we've been, you know, I'm a resident as well. So for 15 years we've been here, and the business has been here for 16. So I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Wow.
Maybe in Italy, but, you know.
You mentioned energy before, and from that one conversation with your friend that sparked, I'd say, a calling or a passion, not kind of knowing what yet. You mentioned walking in healthies you knew. Have you always been that intuitive as a person? I mean, growing up as a kid or to now, like, have you always had that part of you?
Yeah, I definitely listen to my gut a lot. Like, I can make pretty quick decisions, but, yeah, pretty spot on, you know, with one of those sort of things. I think I'm fairly authentic. I'm definitely one of those people that get the car park out the front and in the flow, and yeah, you know.
Can you give me some examples of you experienced this kind of Nola before the business?
Oh, I don't know if I can. It's a thing. It's a thing you feel. I don't know how. Yeah.
No, it's
So no, but you know, I don't know. Like also, you know, even the type of members I've got, you really attract, your vibe attracts your tribe, I guess, as well. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I look at the type of women that come in. I mean, you know, Healthies is really inspirational, but we're really inspired by our members. You know, we want to do more for them too. Do you know what I mean? Because they give us so much energy as well, and giving them so much of themselves to us as well, because they just want to be better.
Wow. And touching on Healthies and the tribe, how are you helping people grow?
Grow in general.
Yep,
I think
grow,
for us,
whether it's,
we're
you know,
really trying to, you know, we help, obviously we're women's only, but we do sneak a few boys in as well. But we really want to make sure people are creating the best version of themselves, no matter what that is. And it's not a number. It's not like everyone wants to be a size 10 or a size 8. It's nothing like that at all. It's about, you know, working out to be the best version of yourself, you know. And we know, you know, if someone loses 20 kilos, they're probably going to add 20 years to their lives. You know, we want them to feel good about that. So, yeah, that's probably where, you know, what we're focused on, and working backwards from the goal. You know, wellness is a really big space, but it's actually probably identifying, you know, what's the goal and working backwards from there. You know?
And that in itself, the goal, working backwards from there, what are some things for people listening? What should they pay attention to? What are the top tips from Nola to do with health and being able to, I guess, kind of get to it before it's too late?
Yeah.
What would you kind of describe that from working backwards?
Yeah, I guess it's also working out the pain points, like where's the pain in your life, do you know what I mean? Like, are we feeling too stressed or too overwhelmed, or are we carrying too many kilos, or we're not quite fit enough, we're not functional, you know, we're huffing and puffing getting our, you know, climbing up the stairs at home, or, you know, we're not participating in life. That's probably one of the things as well. Like, I know we've got, you know, some beautiful members over time that are, you know, they say they're just participants. They're not actually actively participating. You know, women who don't like being in photos or hiding themselves behind people, or, you know, all those kinds of things, like what's really important in life, and work backwards. So, you know, if the goal is to lose 20 kilos, well, guess what? That's actually not going to happen in a gym. It's going to happen in your kitchen. So work backwards from your goals. And, you know, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Like, we've got an approach that you don't need to eat like a dietitian. You don't need to train like an athlete. You just need to be consistent and make your goals important. And that's probably something now we're really recognising a lot in women, which is wonderful, is that they are actually starting to put themselves first, or make themselves just as important as the family, or just as important as their job, or just as important as anything really. So, yeah, we've got to pop ourselves on the top of the to-do list, Tatum.
And what's that like as a business owner to see Susan coming in, or like Patricia coming in, your members,
it's
whoever
empowering.
they are?
It's so proud.
What's that like for you?
It's life-changing for these people, absolutely life-changing. I mean, we see so many health benefits, people reducing their blood pressure, or reducing their stress, or making friendships and getting out of their comfort zone. And there's just so many more benefits than just a smaller dress size and things like that as well. But I think it's, it's just adding a great quality of life to them as well and increasing their confidence. And I just love, they might initially join for the weight loss, but they actually stay because of the fun and the connections and the friendships and just how good they feel about themselves.
You are a top tier collaborator in my eyes.
Am I?
You work with so many businesses on the street
I love
and
the street.
even people across Adelaide, even from other areas. What are some things that Healthy Inspirations are doing? Who are you working with here? And for those listening, because you're saying some people just want to be social.
Yeah.
Some people just want to chat. What is Healthy's doing?
Yeah, well, look, we're really active on the street. Like, we do go up and down the street. We walk in and people are like, what do you guys want today? They definitely know, what do you guys need? But, we love that our members are really engaged as well. Like, our members encourage us to set up like a loyalty program to really promote business on the street and keep, I guess, people supporting local and spending local, those sort of things as well. So there's a great loyalty program with lots of local businesses, so any business can get involved with that. We reach out to, lots of different businesses, and we run seminars quite often as well. So we run a series of women's wellness seminars where we might get some local practitioners in or a psychologist in or anything that's going to add another dimension. We've got one just this Friday with a local counsellor, and she's teaching everybody about EFT, emotional freedom technique, so just how to help, move those psychological and physical barriers and things like that as well. So, we're up for anything. It's nice just to, explore lots of different areas and be open to other ideas, and could just be what people are looking for.
It's amazing, and being the chair of the Village Heart and being part of the brand of Prospect Road SA and growing that amongst the new businesses and the ones who have been here for 50, 60 years. How have you seen Prospect change, and how has that, I guess, positively impacted your businesses with the collaborations, events, the seasonal calendar? How has it grown?
Well, the collaborations are fantastic, because why not help each other get to where you want to go and keep the business local? And I think, I've used the example before, so some people might have heard it, but, like I've had a client that I bumped into on the street, and she was visiting a business that's just on Churchill Road to go see the local physio, but she came, and then she was also going to Marati's to get a coffee, and then she was going to Blossom Box to get some flowers, and then she was going down to Chanella's to get a fruit and veg. Then she came to Healthy's to do a workout, and it's like they're not coming just for the haircut or the coffee. There's so much to offer. So I think, if anyone who's a business owner might be listening, get out there and meet your neighbours and, get involved with each other and support each other as much as you can. So,
no, it's brilliant to hear, Nola. And, the energy, the vibe, for those listening, describe walking through the door. When you come into Healthy's, what's a typical rundown? What's involved? What's in Healthy's?
Okay. Yeah. Well, rain, hail or shine, the door will be open. I'm such a niggler with that, because we're freezing in there, but it's like open doors is welcoming, and we know our members' names. We're not the type of place that's going to have thousands of members. We don't need 1,000 members, but we want to know everyone's name. We want to know their dog's name, their kids' all those sort of details and things like that. So it's really personalised, but it's just really an environment where women are supporting other women. So I guess it is like a tribe or a sisterhood, and everyone's got common goals, and there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of fun there as well. So we're pretty social. We like, getting out and having some fun and having a few parties and dress-ups and supporting local charities and doing what we can, I guess. I mean, like I said, they come for the weight loss, but it's so much more than that. That's just a byproduct in the end. So, I guess the more you can give other people or other businesses or anything, the more you actually get for yourself, like not in a selfish way, but it just,
For sure. Yeah. And just seeing someone work it on the bike or looking at what proteins they could get or, what is in Healthy's.
You're talking about your proteins. You've got to increase your protein, Tatum.
You've also got some machines as well. Can you just describe what else you have that?
Well, I guess Healthy's is a bit of a one-stop shop. So I guess a lot of people don't really know what we do, because we're not really a gym and we're not really, a retreat area or anything like that. Well, we're really like a space for wellness and weight loss. So our ladies just follow a healthy eating plan based on everyday supermarket food. So we help them work out, what to eat, how often, the ideal portion sizes. They're given a lot of recipes and cookbooks and shopping lists. So all the guesswork's kind of taken out for them. They also come in and exercise. So you mentioned there's machines. So yes, we've got a hydraulic circuit that's set up. So, that's kind of set and forget. You teach everyone how to use it. They can, jump on that anytime they like. We run a lot of classes. They are small. They're personalised. They're a lot of fun. They are, the trainers run different classes all the time. So there's plenty of variety. We also run personal training and have an infrared sauna as well. So there's definitely, I guess, everything's all under one roof, but it is designed for women and busy women. I mean, we're encouraging our ladies to come in for 75 minutes a week. So that's not a lot. It is literally 2 30-minute workouts, and it's also a 15-minute accountability session or a support session where they come in and, we do weigh our members. We've got a big bell that we ring when they lose weight because it's a bit of fun and everyone wants to hear about it. And that was a great idea from the members. I'll go on to that story in a minute because it's a good one. But, write it down, Belle. And, there's a lot of support. Like, we know who needs a big hug and we know who needs a bit of a stick. Do you know what I mean? So, we get to know our members and, really, I mean, it's really important for them to reach their goal, because it's part of our business, or we want to see our numbers growing. We're really proud that we've lost 17,000 kilos. Like, we're the only place in Adelaide who can claim something like that, and it's based on everyday supermarket food. So it's actually a lifestyle thing. It is not a diet, and like anything, you can follow anything. They all work, but what can you follow for life? You can follow everyday supermarket food and fresh fruit and veg.
Sure.
Yeah,
What do you think stops people being in this industry, supporting, seeing the change and seeing people kind of go from zero to hero?
Yeah.
What do you think stops people from putting themselves first and taking care of themselves and working out? And
I think there's so much information out there now. Like, you can sit there and Google your little heart out, and there's just so much information. I think we all kind of know what to do, but we're lacking the support and actually lacking the accountability. And I think probably the hardest thing is actually that very first step. So, years ago you might sit on the phone and ring a whole bunch of places, and once you got a vibe from somebody, you'd go in. But nowadays people have got so many messages everywhere. It's pretty overwhelming how to even cut through and, not just look on the internet, but how do you make that next step? Generally they might send an inquiry, and then they're absolutely shocked if we actually ring, and they might go, oh, my God, you're Nola, you're the girl on the video on the website, you're actually ringing me. They can't actually believe someone's rung them back. So I think, there's just not a lot of follow-up out there and things like that. But I think generally there's a lot of fear, and probably fear of failure, because a lot of people have tried what they feel is everything, and this might be just, this is another thing. And, but I'll just say for anyone who's listening and struggling, just reach out and have a chat, because, it's definitely, I have not met a woman that we can't help. Absolutely not. Do you know what I mean? From the most social women who go out whining and dining all the time to ladies who, really struggle or on a lot of medication and things like that as well. We can, you set the pace, really. It's up to you how fast you want to do it or how slow you want to do it. And, at the end of the day, it's creating a lifestyle that you can maintain, and also finding a weight that you can maintain as well. So.
Yeah, I'm getting this real urge of consistency and just showing up. And even if it's not a positive day, you are here and you're doing your best.
Yeah, that's right. And generally, most of our members don't leave, because it's not just about reaching the goal. Most times, women have to successfully get their weight off and then keep it off for 12 months after that, and they are more likely to keep it off for good then, because they've developed all those great lifestyle habits. But our members don't leave after that, because they're part of a community. They like coming in and exercising. They still catch up for their accountability every week, because life changes. Do you know what I mean? Jobs change, relationships change. There's holidays, there's all sorts of things that we're trying to navigate, and we're trying to help our ladies maintain a great buffer zone for their weight and keep their weight off long term, whatever that is. So they continue on. So it's just that the conversation changes. It's not about losing weight, it's about maintaining then. So, and what else are you going to do for yourself? It's not, that's great. I mean, I think I've been so inspired to see women do so many things, from gaining some more confidence and losing some weight. Do you know what I mean? The travelling they do, feeling more comfortable on aeroplanes, going on multi-day hikes, starting to run, keeping up with the grandkids, being able to get down on the ground. There's so many things that, they're, setting their other goals for themselves that are not about weight, opening up their wardrobe, being able to wear anything they like. There's just so many joyful things when the weight's not holding them back.
What does What did the people of Prospect teach you?
I just like that you can actually be a community within a community. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think it's, you know, I've been fortunate to also be living here as well, that my kids have gone to school here, to even have, you know, the friendship groups and things like that as well. It's really important. It's just part of a family. Like, you don't need to leave to go anywhere else, you know, if you don't want to. Do you know what I mean? I think that's just a real sense of belonging. I think with our members, I mean, we learn so much and we do support each other a lot. It's, you know, it's a really beautiful place to be, you know, just part of something like that, you know, and working with we've got a very small team, and it's a very tight team as well. And, you know, they work really hard for our members, and we've always got, you know, their best interests at heart as well. So,
and touching on best interests for those listening, they want to come in, they want to get started. Mm-hmm. How do they approach that? How do they get in touch with you, and how do we get them through the door to come in?
I think just be brave, just walk on in, say hello, that's, you know, or just ring us or send an email, like however you feel comfortable. But I think, you know, if you reach out, I think via the website or on email, just, you know, follow it up, you know, so don't ghost us. We get a lot of people who contact us and then we're trying to get hold of them and then we don't hear from them and we think, oh, they must be really struggling. So I think just remember that we're like-minded. Like my team and I, we have all lost weight. We've lost 70 kilos between the 5 of us, and we've kept it off, and we know exactly what it's like firsthand. So whether it's 5 kilos or whether it's 20 kilos or whether it's 50 kilos, we absolutely get what it feels like to be there. So that's probably what's so unique about us, is that we are living role models for this. Do you know what I mean? And when you do have a weight problem, you actually will always have it. Like, you're not cured. You do need to keep working on it and set up that lifestyle. And, you know, I guess that's what we're there for. We're that crutch to help people with that.
Wow. And for Healthies, the vision, the mission, the purpose, there is so much that you and your community are about. Where do you see Healthies going, I guess, in the next 3 to 5 years? What's on the cards for Healthy Inspirations?
Look, we've been really lucky. We're very consistent with our numbers, and we embrace retention more than anything else in the centre. So just trying to keep people engaged, try to have a lot of fun. We lose about a ton a year, so we're trying to lose at least 1,000 kilos a year. So if anyone has any kilos, we absolutely want them. But that's definitely where we see ourselves. We do a lot more remote coaching as well, and that can be obviously a post-COVID thing as well, but we coach people all the way around the country remotely over the phone, and even overseas as well via WhatsApp. We don't do Zoom and things like that. Our members don't want it. They just want a good old-fashioned chat. So, you know, we've even got ladies that just live at Henley Beach or even live at Enfield and don't come to our centre and are actively losing weight and following the program. So there's no restrictions really. Like, I guess the only ceiling you put is the one you put on yourself. So, yeah.
Wow.
So I guess we'd love to just help more people, really, at the end of the day. We're women supporting other women, and, you know, there's a real need for it.
For those listening, if you could leave them with something maybe you live by, or it just breathes Healthy Inspirations, what would you say to someone who's interested in becoming the best versions of themselves and making that decision to finally put themselves first?
I think just being really aware of what you really want and working backwards from it. Okay, just be really clear, you know, and then work out the steps. Just work back from the steps from there. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You know, I mentioned it before, like, you do not need to eat like a dietitian for the rest of your life. You do not need to train like an athlete. Like, we do see incredible results with just consistent effort, you know, and I think lose perfectionism as well. Like, nobody's perfect. You can be perfect for, I don't know, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but it's life. Life's for enjoying and being authentic, and you should have the cake if you want the cake. You should have the glass of wine for the glass of wine, but it is all in moderation and learning that every single body is different as well. So, yeah.
And Nola, if you had a magic wand, or if you could make anything possible for Prospect, collaborations, businesses, where do you see Prospect going and you sticking around for it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't be anywhere else, really. It's a great community and everything's so welcoming for sure. But I think for other local businesses, I mean, you mentioned the Village Heart before. I mean, there's so much scope for us to be able to help other businesses and collaborate. So just get amongst it. I mean, we have a meeting now, quarterly meeting, like make the effort to get there if you can. I know it might mean closing the doors for a couple of hours or putting another staff member on, but it's worth it. I think, gosh, if I can sit here and after 16 years still go to a meeting and get so much out of it and be inspired, why can't you? Do you know what I mean? And it is up to us as business owners to get out there and meet fellow neighbours. It's not up to a council or anything like that. It's, so. And I think you do meet like-minded people along the way, like people who just get what you're doing and want to be a part of that energy and stuff as well. So, it's wonderful. Even like the alteration place, if we've got a little something on and we'll put our little poster and they goes, oh, we like it because people are putting their measurements and doing things. I think, oh, I need to lose a couple of kilos. This dress will feel better. It's just something so little like that. And like Montego, we do a lot of things with us and they're great supporters of our members and they love making them look and feel good as well. And, new hairstyles. There's just so much that our members can get out of the street as well to make them look and feel good and be part of something. So, yeah.
Wow, Nola, it's been an absolute pleasure and just learning about you and your story and Healthies and the amount of incredible things you guys get up to.
I feel like I haven't even touched the surface. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really don't. Do you know what I mean? We've been involved in so many schools and kindies and sporting groups and, we love it. Just come and see us. We're so open to any of your ideas and helping you get to where you want to go as well.
Thank you so much, Nola. It's been an absolute pleasure and looking forward to seeing you guys thrive and helping the ladies lose more kilos.
Yeah, you bet. And feeling really great about themselves too. Yeah.
Thanks, Nola.
Thanks, Tatum.